So we are rolling live. So welcome everybody to another episode of some Kadena Talks, if you wanna call it that. Now I'm joined by Koby from Eucalyptus Labs and Koala Wallet, and I think this is gonna be a very interesting talk as we are close the same age. I'm 21, you're 22, and it's gonna be interesting hearing both perspectives and experiences. So what's up, Koby?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Noah. I've been doing a few of these talks with age ranging all over, so talking to someone my age will be certainly new and interesting, and happy to be here.
If you want to start, tell us a little bit about yourself, just a basic overview, where you're at and how everything's going.
Absolutely. So I got involved in crypto back in 2013, 14 around Dogecoin. It was a really fun like meme for me to hop into when I was a bit younger, and ever since
How
then I've
old
been
were
in the
you then?
world. So I was 13 or maybe 14
13.
years old.
Dang.
Yeah, yes. I was playing Minecraft. Someone mentioned Dogecoin, and I'm like, Dogcoin? What's that? I didn't understand Bitcoin yet, although I had heard about it a long time before that. But it was just an easy concept of like, this is internet money, this is new, this is cool, and that made me learn about all sort of things around our existing financial institutions. I was 13, let alone I wasn't paying taxes then, but I wasn't even aware of why you give your money to a bank and what they're doing with it once they have it. So I was not only oblivious because of my age, but we're not really taught that even in public schools anymore. So it gave me a really great perspective of learning about a field as it was developing. And then in 2016, I started working for a really big wallet company that was focused on building a multi-coin wallet for a bunch of different assets and how you can store them safely. So fast forwarding to about 2019, from there, I met some of the founders of Kadena at Consensus here in New York City. And then a few years later in 2020 and in 2022, I decided to make the jump and really form a company, which is Eucalyptus Labs, around answering some questions about blockchain for Kadena. So we're kind of on this mission to take blockchain, which currently sits in some server somewhere and is like a very cold technology, and bring some warmth to it, bring some products, bring some user experience to it, and help people unlock the value behind their Kadena, behind their crypto assets at whole. So that's the mission I've been on for quite some time now, and I'm really excited to be wearing a Koala hoodie to shill Koala Wallet as well, since that's one of the products we've made at Eucalyptus.
Before you give us some news on the hoodies on so much,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
you wanna give us some insights on the Koala wallet because what's interesting to me is what you have learned about wallets in your past, as well as the securities and also I don't know the onboarding process for new people because for me, I mean, I've been using wallets, but I think the big part of the people, or we are waiting for the big part of people to hop onto crypto, to hop onto those chains, and it really has to be easy and secure to onboard all of the people. So, what have you learned?
Yeah, there are really big problems in the realm of crypto in that since 2009 white paper of Bitcoin, one of the ideas behind Bitcoin and blockchain at whole is that you're able to secure your own assets or your own information by holding it yourself, not relying on a third party, by keeping it in your own pocket. But we've seen time and time again, most of the news you hear about crypto hacks and crypto being lost is when a centralized exchange that you're not really in charge of your funds, when a centralized exchange loses some of them for you. So we're seeing a lot of great adoption in these other ways of decentralized finance and digital sharing of currency and information, but we're not seeing adoption of this self-custodial
Hmm.
element of what makes blockchain so fantastic in my opinion. So I think the really big hurdles are twofold. First off, setting up a wallet and understanding crypto means that you're understanding so many things. You're understanding what's wrong with banks, you're understanding why don't I keep it on Binance or a big exchange. So that's a big education goal in
Yep.
itself. But then you also have issues in that using a centralized exchange right now, it's so easy. You have a login, you have your password, maybe you get a text and input the number, and then you can do a whole litany of things with your crypto. You can do lending and trading, you can do staking, you can do a bunch of things that are not easy and really accessible in a wallet environment. So again, since 2016, a large focus of mine has been how do we put a lot of those, centralized tools back in the hands of users? And also on the side of that education process, how do we make it easier, not only to get involved in crypto at whole, but then to understand the process of safely securing your own funds? I'll add one more thing is that it used to be that, my most common, the most common occurrence was someone losing funds at a centralized exchange. And now something else you hear about a lot is that as these new wallets emerge, who aren't really considering security and understanding the challenges associated with using their wallets, people are losing funds. Phantom and Slope wallet were
Yep.
compromised. I don't think because of their technology, but because of the 90% vector of an attack is going to be social manipulation. So people really, if they're going to take custody of their own funds, you as a company or as the creators of a wallet need to make sure you're doing everything you can, that they have the tools to protect their own funds and the education resources to make sure they know how they're going to do exactly just that.
Yep. Yeah, man, I agree. Because also for me, when onboarding new people, I of course always tell them to take self custody and put their coins on the wallet. Now, this is at the beginning questionable for people because they're like, okay, I bought them, but why do I have to move them now? For us, it's mainstream, but for them, it's kind of hard. And this is why me myself have it a bit hard explaining it to more people, like to the masses, because I always have to go in depth and explain them why not on an exchange and so on. And they always also like tell me, oh, I've seen those videos and this and that, and then I also have to explain them it's all bullshit what you see on YouTube and all of that. And what you said in your, I don't know if it was in the space yesterday or with Alfonso, that you're creating the wallet to be like an exchange, like so you have everything there's an exchange on your wallet, and that's what I think is beautiful, like the on ramp you have too, because it's so much easier to tell friends, yo, download the Koala wallet, you can directly buy your Kadena on it there. Later on you'll have NFT, you'll have swaps and all of that than it is right now. And that's, yeah, that's also what's missing, but what you are here to build, right?
Absolutely. Wallets are usually the last step after going intro to crypto, get your funds on Binance, maybe you take it off to a wallet. We would love to, and our goal is to make it the first step. Because whenever you're signing a transaction or eventually using the world of Web3 and these decentralized applications, it's usually from the standpoint of a wallet, from sending my funds here or there, and not that centralized exchange. So we think that in the future, we'll really be the first point of contact for people getting into the space and taking control of their funds.
It is. And what do you think is most important for wallets to survive, not just the bear market or the bull market, but both and continuously for years?
Well, I think the first thing is if you're looking to make a wallet, and there are a lot of them, this is a saturated market. We
Yeah.
knew that when we got into the game. The reason we decided to is because we know a lot of these insights, and I'll show them with you now. The first thing is the revenue model. Any wallet you look out there that isn't attached to a token or like an NFT collection, the revenue model is usually down to the trading. So whenever you do a
Hmm.
trade, they're going to take a percentage of that revenue that either the exchange partner is making or they're doing in-house by themselves. So if that's the main revenue model going forward, and we have two competitive wallets with each other, the only thing that's going to differentiate it eventually is who can do the lower fee, which is going to result
Hmm.
in a lower payout for the people making that wallet. And suddenly you're not going to see that wallet anymore because they can't afford the server bills. So our focus from the beginning has always been to keep this revenue model in mind, while it's definitely a good one, while returning as much value as you can to the user, as in not digging into their part of the exchange. But our main focus is designing tools and services that we can patch together around the application that says to the user, hey, we're giving you the full, the most extreme version of application unfettered, that you can use to store, send, receive, trade, and keep your assets. And then on top of that, we're going to add different features and capabilities, just like a centralized exchange might offer, and maybe not charge you for, but they might put it into their fees of what they'll provide, like their support or their trading capabilities. And we're going to build services around that really just show to the user, we are going to provide value in XYZ way. If you would like that value from your funds and from your experience, maybe buy into this feature or buy into something like that. But we're well aware that we don't see a lot of continuation of this business model. How much fees can we take from users? How many more
Yep,
percentages points can we add onto their exchange? How about you give the exchange back to the user? And again,
definitely.
you find other ways to help them get the most value of their crypto. Because at the end of the day, if you're not on that mission from the beginning, users are going to see it in the product. They're going to see it in your, through your code base.
Yeah, man, I really like the forward thinking also into the future, right? Because um, there's so much coming up just for hype and for the pumps, and we, as you also said, really need to look also, yeah, into the future and also everything that's gonna come with it, like the Kadena ecosystem and all the NFTs and tokens and all of that that is coming. I think that's also a part you want to build a wallet for, like for the ecosystem, so for everything that's around and playing into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what we're calling, like a passport for the Canadian ecosystem. You don't have to pay someone to get a passport. I mean, maybe you do. I guess in the U.S. you have a fee for the photo and something else like that. But once you have it, that's your go-to point when you're going to travel, when you're entering the airport of like the Kadena universe of where you can go and enjoy your time. We want to be that companion with you that's never asking what can we take from the process, but what can we add on top and make better and easier for the users out there.
Yeah, this is exactly what I am waiting for, to really see things coming up. So this is awesome.
Well, let me talk about something that I think I always kind of skip over,
Mhm.
which is how we planned out eucalyptus at whole and how we got
Yep.
started. We got started just as kind of the bull market was breaking a year or two ago, or at least in my mind, starting to think about how do we survive as a company that we're going to build for the next 2 to 3 years. And that's exactly what we did. We laid out a 2.5 year roadmap of saying market conditions are not going to be up and up forever.
Hmm.
We're going to plan out a roadmap that does not include slashing extraneous hires, overspending, or getting into leveraged or debt positions. And we just built this company with really sustainable methods, um, looking at this is a market where I don't think you have to move fast and break things. And I go back to this a lot because Facebook had to move fast and break things, and then they
Yep.
emerged the winner of social media in a lot of ways. But we think that in a 10 to 20 year market cycle, in all of where these technologies can be adopted and put to use, we're not going to miss out, and we'll shoot ourselves in the foot if we move too quickly and break stuff because that affects the users. So that's really the philosophy we have applied at Koala, and it's why we haven't just designed a wallet company, but we set up shop to be a full service spot internally for our own marketing, our own communications, our own community management, because that holistic approach to a wallet and to any product is really integral in crypto. And I'll also well, I'll cap it there, but that's definitely something that we're excited to be our own development house.
Yeah, I really like that, and I think this is really big in the Cadena Echo to take this approach. Also with
Mm.
Cadena itself. I mean, I tell this very often. Like people say Cadena is a scam, or it's only going down, and so on and so on. And why aren't they marketing now? Like we have to understand that there are not thousands or hundreds of VCs here, and it's gonna go up eventually after we have all of the things we need, like the functionality of the wallet you are building and all of that. So we first have to build everything, set everything up, and then we are good to go to grow with the community. And this is the step we are at right now, and what we really have to put in our minds and then build. And talking about building, if you want to call it, um, so when you release the NFTs for your wallet, is it gonna be all NFTs on Kadena right now? Because we have like the butter marmalade standard for the arcade, for example, or marmalade.
Yeah, so we're working with the Kadena team to better understand and prepare for Marmalade Standard, and we're also working with great partners like KMC, like Arcade, Kadena Bulls to implement their NFTs into the app as well. Not only that, but we're working with partners that are doing different services like NFT indexing. If you go to Kadefy, another
Hmm.
really great partnership we're establishing. They've been putting in the work and bringing those NFTs already to people when you search your address. So we're working hand in hand to implement as many solutions as we can to the application. Well aware that it might take a bit more time now to make every user happy, which is why the implementation is not as quick as it would be with another chain. But we're also just really looking forward to the day when everything is on the Marmalade standard, and we get to talk about at length the benefits of being in that standard on Kadena. So we're definitely keeping in both in mind during the implementation. And I'd be surprised if anyone were coming to us after our NFT release and saying my NFT is not there, because Kadena has such a tight knit community
Yeah.
that we've been talking with these partners 3 4 months and really preparing so that it's not just an experience of keeping your NFT and throwing it in your wallet, but it's much more interactive and unique from wallets in Kadena and from wallets overall in the space.
Yep, and also shout out to your UI designer. I mean, I love it. I love it, and this is also actually a really big step. I mean, who'd guess? Because I remember. So I've been doing a lot of airdrops and downloaded a lot of wallets. So I do have my experience with different wallets. And so one side is the security, the other side is, of course, how does it look? How does it feel using it, right? And even if it's a good wallet, if it's unreadable or just not fun to use, right? It's gonna be difficult, especially when you start putting all of that info and all of those different things onto the wallet. So yeah, love the design for now. I'm really excited to see how it's gonna look with all of the other stuff. Because you also mentioned, I think, for the NFTs, you have some special things that you're gonna do, the so you'll be able to show your NFTs to your friends better, which is also dope. I mean, you've said that you didn't see this anywhere, and me too. And every time I show some friends some NFTs, it's always on the side or in the wallet next to all the other NFTs, and it's nothing special. Like why it's on the blockchain, like this is mine, right? So
You just said it. This is mine.
yeah,
That's the point of pride and importance, that when we're developing for users, we're well aware that they're not showing people their Koala wallet and showing them like, hey, this is my wallet. They're showing their own custodied assets. And if you really believe that's important for someone, and if you really believe in crypto, then you ask yourself, well, what do I find most valuable in a technology that stores those NFTs or helps me do that? So time and time again, and I think I was going to mention this earlier, why did we take this unique team that had been working together in this space for some of us have been working together for over 6 years now, like our co-founders and I, and we decided to attack this unique like we decided to make a wallet in such a saturated wallet market because we just knew fundamentals that every time there's a new wave in the market, whether it's ICOs,
yep,
DeFi, NFTs, like wallets are extremely reactionary, and they say, oh, we have to implement swaps now, so they add it
hmm
in with a link and they move on to the next trend. Whereas if you really want these technologies to succeed, you kind of have to take the approach of how do we add something more magical here, and break down the boundary, make it easier for users, and make it not just fun, but super usable. So that's an approach we've always been taking. I've always thought about since again like 2018, especially after that ICO craze. And so you can expect that kind of touch to be put into to whatever we develop, because it's at the core of how our team functions.
Yep. So like also when in future many people hop on just like me when I started out in crypto, people are coming in for the quick X, coming in for airdrops for NFTs, and with this they need a good user experience, right, on the wallet, not having to wait for an update. What I also experienced is having multiple wallets and having to use one wallet for one task, another wallet for another task, because things are broken, things are not working right. And um, I'm just really impressed by yeah, Eucalyptus Labs, now Koala, what came out, and the whole team. So I don't know, maybe you wanna tell us I don't know, a little bit about the team, who's on your side, who's been
I
working on
would
all of
I
that.
would love to brag. I'd love to brag. So I started this firm with two folks who are, I always say this, it's like I'm campaigning out here. But Angelos and Tim, they're in their later 40s. And I always say they're far beyond in their wisdom, far younger in their energy and perspective. Angelos and I have been working together 6 or 7 years now. Tim, more than two, maybe approaching three. And we all had a very simple philosophy when starting Eucalyptus, in that we were going to make a very anti-tech bro, culture that you see on Silicon Valley, a very anti-crypto Wild West that you hear about from FTX, and you even hear about from earlier startups like Coinbase and Gemini when they were in their nascent days. Um, we wanted to infuse, we chose the word Eucalyptus Labs because even in our pitch deck to ourselves, we had that we want to take a research-driven approach to developing technologies on blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked in a lab, doing psychoneurological research, which sounds way cooler than it is, I was like, I was doing basic stuff, guys. But when I worked there, you take your time, you develop your procedures, you really invest both in the people and the route to find the best way to get to an answer, the best way to get consensus. And so that's what we decided to do, not live under the move fast and pump out product, mission that gets a lot of projects and founders burnt, but to build something super sustainable. So from those three, like I mentioned, we had a lot of teammates join us from previous ventures, which I'm most lucky for. I'll give you an example that you just mentioned. Everything we do in terms of product design in the wallet goes through our product head, our head of product, Brendan. And Brenny has talked in some AMAs before, such as the one we did with Tyler Benster. Check it out. Tyler's awesome. And he's mentioned about how he used to work live chat and be talking for like 8 to 12 hours. And I don't kid you, 8 to 12 hours talking with a bunch of new people coming to crypto,
Yeah.
answering their basic questions, answering difficult questions for intermediate and advanced users. And so he's just had this wealth of information. And when we were making critical design choices of even how should this button be here or here, to the few pixels to the left or right, he'd be like, well, I did have like 20 people come to me and say that they
That's
clicked on the wrong
awesome.
button.
Uh-huh.
And we'd be like, well, then that's the right decision. Because, we don't have the crystal ball. I think that we have a very good experience portfolio of designing and working on crypto things. So we're pretty good at it. But our real crystal ball is users themselves of what they're telling us now and the experience our team has. It's very individual to the wallet space. So that's why we attacked it first. I would take the entire AMA now to like mention every one of our team members, but I think most startups have a retention rate of 28%. I think only 28% of new employees will stay with a startup after its first 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Our rate is much closer to 70 to 80 percent of retention for all new employees that join. Um,
Congrats on that.
Thank you. And it's not to me, it's to the team because it's really the culture that they've created together. And I'm just lucky. I'm really lucky to be in this, founder position, head Koala, where I get to orchestrate some of this.
Yeah, man. And I think you are also blessed, like I am, to have people around you who are experienced and know this stuff and give back to you, right? So I feel blessed every day to be able to learn from all of you guys, to talk to you guys and learn all that, because we're better than here. And it's just awesome, those what you guys give us and what we are able
100%.
to do. 100%. Another question that just popped into my head. So if you met them or started working with them 6, 7 years ago, wait, how old were they?
All right, just checking my math because I don't want to, forget a line. Yeah, 7 or 8 years. Did you ask how old are they? Or
Yeah. So you were like 13, 14.
yeah, so my first experience with crypto was on the Dogecoin forum, and I was 13, 14. I wanted to
Ah,
build my
right.
first
Yeah, yeah.
immersion rig. My first real experience working with someone like Angelos was closer to 2017, though I had been using a product of his for quite some time. So I was 16 or 17 years old, and I was definitely not starting in a position like this. I had to claw my way a little bit, and yeah, I guess, it's great that I don't really believe all the time in like the 20-year-olds running companies, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a 20-year-old running a company. I'm a 20-year-old running with other people far more
Yep.
experienced in age than I am. But having an adult in the room is great, and having adults in the room is even better. Our team age medium is like 36 or 37, maybe even now 38. And I take such pride in that because this is also a space of crypto where
Mm-hmm.
just a few years ago, like in 2018, 19, at that conference, no one could even say they had more than 5, 6 years in this
Yeah.
space. I'm so lucky that I was able to get in so early that I can say, oh, I have like 10 years in crypto. Well, that's possible, like 7 years in crypto. Um, but even just getting involved when you're a bit older is so easy. But I should say that Tim and Angelos have been in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin since as far back as 2010 and 2011. And you can go listen to some of the spaces Tim and Angelos have done and hear all about their experience working on bitcoinium.org, different exchange products. They've really had a decorated history in crypto.
And I also think this is the one good thing for meme coins that you discovered crypto that way, right? So if it wouldn't be a dog on a coin, I don't know how fast it or how long it would take, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about crypto is that it's so versatile. It spreads in different ways. It keeps finding different niche applications to bring more people into the fold to better understand the unique benefits of blockchain. And like I mentioned, Bitcoin's white paper to me as a 12, 13-year-old was like, I'm not going to read that. That's crazy.
Yep,
But
same.
but Dogecoin is like, hell yeah,
Yeah,
send it
man.
to the moon and stuff. And so even though these can often be the most toxic places and breeding grounds for craziness and scams, they are also frequently the entry point where you can buy something for cents on the dollar and just get affiliated with how financial markets work. I mean, think about this you don't learn, at least in New York and in America, you don't really learn about economics until microeconomics in maybe 10th grade. I was able to dive into supply demand, ideas and at least understand how things like cash and US dollar have had such a unique history of the gold standard. And again, how financial systems work at such a young age that should really be normal. And if it were, I think that a lot of what Bitcoin solves would be inherently solved with our financial systems, but that didn't happen. So someone had to come in and knock down that door. So
100%. Everything that I learned in 2022, let's say, was more than I could ever imagine. I don't know, it would take me 5 years or so in school. So, like, this is incredible. If you get into the community, you can learn so much. And even after all the time, you still, you can always learn something. And this is also the incredible thing, which is really driving me to learn more and more because I think we are on a right way now, and now like I personally have settled a bit in Kadena on Kadena and can now build and learn all of that on top because what I think many people also struggle with getting into crypto is they have this quick X NFTs mindset and are always stressed are nowhere home and no real blockchain, hunt airdrops here, hunt rewards here. And after I found out more about Kadena and got into it, I got kind of peace in myself. And this is what I also want to try and educate people to understand the basics of crypto. And then you'll find your way and this is going to be much more fun than only hunting those quick access or whatever, because you can do that somewhere else too.
yeah, I'll tell you a really quick story in that I used to do a bunch of airdrop competitions for another firm and make them install or go to this whole web page to get affiliated with the airdrop and the platform. And we would see an influx in Indian-based bots that, from
Hmm.
India coming in, what we thought was bots, and it definitely was a mix of them coming in, doing tasks, getting an airdrop or getting a raffle point of entry, and then evaporating. The followers, the users, they'd evaporate. We said, okay, they must be bots. We did something unrelated in the next month between the next campaign of implementing Hindi into that webpage.
Hmm.
And what we saw after we did the competition and more people were going to that space is that we had actual higher retention. This was not a very A/B driven, like metric test based campaign, but that's definitely the reason why. For example, we have all the languages we have so far. I think over 12 now in Koala Wallet and many currency pairs because we've found out that not only are wallets a great first point of entry, but for those who are looking for a very quick return on their money and might not find it initially, or should be shown the way of a longer term investment thesis, we have the ability in that moment of that airdrop to actually take over and be responsible for the education process of saying, hey, You're waiting on your airdrop. You're going to get a few cents of this token. You might cash it out. You might not. But while you're here, take a look at some of the fundamental building blocks of the technology you're about to get rewarded from. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll get more invested in the space, keep using the product. So there's so many avenues that we can take through a wallet and through the products we're building to retain people in these communities and to have less of that craze hype around these technologies.
Yeah, man, dude. I'm telling you, this is all I've been waiting for the last 1.5 years. There's been such a struggle going from wallets to wallets, this, that, scam, getting rugged, and all of that. And also, if projects rug, you still have the wallet, you still have everything on it. Like if you are secure on your wallet and your funds are secure, you can do with it whatever you want. I mean, if the experience is great, getting rugged at the end, um, you you have a way to go both ways. So um, this is what I'm really looking for, and this is getting me really excited. Now,
For sure.
are there some NFT projects or things on Kadena that get you excited apart from your projects? What are the things you've
Yeah.
seen?
Yeah, and I wanted to add really quickly that like we make a
Hmm.
lot of big statements and promises. Well, I say we try not to make promises. We try to allude to what we're working on in the background. But something we stay consistent on is not giving outlandish timelines of delivery, of
Hmm.
giving about a 2 week notice when something will be delivered. Although we'll tell you we're working on it. Check out our milestones on the site. Um, but we really stay focused on delivering the best that we can. And we're just confident from our track record internally of having worked together for so long that users are going to see those things materialize. So we think we'll build trust over time. And as excited as you are hearing about our promises and our ideas swirling, I'm just more excited knowing my team's experience and being like, damn, like Noah will really get to see this come to
Yeah, man.
materialization versus other projects that might not have that experience and know for sure that confidence that it's coming. You asked about other NFT projects that I'm interested in, and I think I would break it down to the application. Not mine that I'm building, but I mean the application of these NFTs. So there's a lot of talk around GameFi right now,
Hmm.
and the reward structure of GameFi. I love the space, I love the ideas, but I don't think that a 13-year-old is going to pay for their car after like a month of gaming on COD. And also, if they're 13, they probably shouldn't have a car to begin with. But what I do think, what I do see happening is people getting to be rewarded from games, for example, that might return a few dollars at the end of the month, which these gaming companies in blockchain might then turn into an entire other financially incentivized system. So if you're making a few dollars a month, maybe with some of the other partners in the space, what they can do with those rewards is give you discounted access to another set of different tools you can use or games you can play. I think that we're going to see a lot of platforms that offer reinvestment, not for like a crazy percentage on your dollars going in and your game time spent, but you'll be able to, for example, fund different projects that you want to see or goals that are brought into the game. I think that this is a phase of NFTs of ownership of a greater collective that we're going to see a lot more listening to the community. And
Hmm.
although a lot of projects already congratulate themselves for being super involved and for being super responsive and engaged with the community, I think this is going to explode, and that users and people at the desktop or on their phones are just going to have more of a say and more of a capacity to be listened to by companies who will rely on their instincts, who will rely on their knowledge, because at the end of the day, often users know best. And they definitely know what they want in a lot of the cases. So that's probably a bit more GameFi than NFTs. But I see NFTs going all over the map in the next few years, let alone just the upcoming weeks with some really cool developments. So
Yeah, man. Oh, I mean, projects on Kadena in general, right? As you said, GameFi. I mean, the mock metaverse is gonna come. We see projects like Ketkas being there. We see the arcade with also the projects partnering, and this is what I also really like to see here. Like we projects are really working together and trying to build something also sustainable into the future, which I've also missed in other ecosystems. So this is really dope to see. Do you have any Kadena NFTs? NFTs on Kadena?
I do. I won't shout them out too specifically, although I feel like I already have with like when I mentioned wizards and others on
Yeah,
AMAs and things
let's
like
go.
that. I will say though that Eucalyptus Labs itself, we try to hold multiple NFTs for every single project we see launch, not only to support the community, but like, hey, we do find them valuable. We have our own treasury, but we're much more interested so that when we're approaching a partner, such as DadBods. DadBods is led by an independent developer, Luzotica,
Yep.
who is live streaming his sessions as he's working on Wallet Connect, which we're sponsoring with him. He's live streaming a bunch of Pact development, answering questions, and he even has now a Pact course you can buy, and you should, because he's an amazing guy to be teaching you. But he's doing so much for the community. He also has this collection of DadBot NFTs where you can still
Yeah, man.
purchase them on Chain 2, I think. So go check it out. But when we start to work and develop a relationship with someone, we want to fully understand their product, and we want to also be able to say to each other internally at Eucalyptus, like, oh man, my dad bot has a crown, my dad bot has a, like, so it's not only a great way to stay engaged with the products and our users because they're doing the same thing, but we pride ourselves in using that as one of the best places to show someone we want to work with and say, hey, we are invested in your product. We're super interested, and it's not just talk. We want to show the action.
Right, as you said, different little pieces from an NFT, just like the deadbots, the different crowns or hair or anything, which I also find pretty awesome, like all of that upgrading stuff. And then also seeing this in your wallet, because with all the NFTs or all the projects coming and evolving, there's gonna happen a lot also, I think, in the inside the wallet with the NFTs, because there's gonna be so many parts, so many different things, and then just having them in the wallet again with like all the different projects and everything. Dude, yeah, man, I'm really excited. I'm just rethinking all the troubles I had the past 2 years, and yeah, man, I mean, 2023 is here. Kadena is here in 2023. It's the year of proof of work. Dude, I'm
Yes.
so excited. Uh, Coinly, like, you didn't get a DM yet, right? Like the
So Coinly, I've worked with them in the past. I haven't been too involved yet on my side of getting in touch with Coinly, but I should say two things. At first, the wallet is going to have CSV pulling of transaction data. Eventually, I can't give a timeline. It's something that's definitely important to us, but a little bit low level than some other stuff we're talking about. But we've done the initial work. We understand the process, of course. Something I'm really excited for is the Explorer we're building, where another eventual feature there will be to pull in bulk transactions, to pull into CSV. And even before maybe you're doing that in a wallet, if you have transactions in other wallets or other exchanges that are using Kadena, pulling from exchanges, you'll be able to use that too. So we're building that into a few different products we're working on. But yeah, that's going to be a great feature. And keep tweeting Coinly. And another thing is, when you do have those pain points, Noah and anyone else out there listening, DM us our accounts. But also, if you want to have a conversation, DM me on Twitter. I'm on my phone too much, and I'm more than happy to engage and reply. So send over a DM even before you send the follow. Let me try and address a question or a query you have about the wallet. And yeah, let's win you over. Let's win you over to Koala.
Yeah, and let's not get in prison. So I'm looking forward for
Yeah,
this integration, man.
I love paying my taxes. I do. I
Yeah,
want to have a nice car and drive on nice roads. So yeah, this company is not set up in the Bahamas. It's a U.S. C corp, S corp rather. And yeah, we're here to stay.
man, awesome, awesome. Um, so there was one, oh yeah, the buying via iOS is it available again, or is it still down?
Yeah, iOS,
Oh,
it
it
should be
is.
available again to buy through our partner at Simplex. And we're going to have some pretty awesome buying updates and features as well, launching this quarter or the next. Just making it more easy not only to acquire Kadena, but choose where you're acquiring it from and very visibly and cohesively see any fee structure that's there and all of the parties and their taking rates. Because we're not trying to hoodwink users. We want them to get Kadena quicker, which means we want them to see the information as to where their money's going. So that's the goal, to make it easier and more clear as to how to get a hold of their Kadena. This involves Apple Pay, Google Pay, bank transfer, credit
Awesome.
card, and
Yeah,
all of those
let's
different
go.
transaction formats.
Dude, that's epic. I thought it was still disabled for iOS, so I don't know how I
I
missed it. I
shouldn't
will.
speak out of term, and I don't want to be on my phone.
No,
Ooh, I think Google's listening in right now as we let's
I
see.
and I'm definitely gonna try out again. I'm
Yeah,
always
we should
sitting
be
at my.
operational.
Yeah,
We are
okay,
operational.
awesome. I will definitely try after we are done, because every time I go into my Koala world, I'm like, oh shit, I really want to try to buy it. But awesome. Um, yeah, man. So, hmm.
Well, let me say this. If you're thinking of another question, I mean, I just want to shout out to you. You and I have been talking about doing this AMA for now, like 2 or 3 weeks or something. No, longer than that for sure, actually. I was back across the ocean when we were talking. And
Yep.
thanks for staying on top of it on your end and dealing with my crazy schedule. I know you have one too. You've been providing these as a great resource to the Kadena community. And so I'm just happy that we actually made this work and happen. And I look forward to talking more in the future. But hey, I'm here to stay, though. That's not my wrap up. But yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks to you too. I mean, um, time zones are always a thing. Sometimes, the last 2 weeks, work was really slaving me, dude. I mean, I had my work schedule, but they changed nearly every day. So when I made a plan, it's just changed. But
I get you.
also, I'm really happy to talk to you. We are nearly at the same age, but like totally different paths. And it's also incredible to learn from you and see how you went, how your road was, and all of that. So it's pretty dope. And I really love interacting with you and all the people and the projects also personally. And it's also an honor for me to be able to, yeah, talk to you guys. So I love learning all that stuff. It's awesome.
Thanks, man. All communication's good. And back at you.
Yeah, awesome. Now I'm technically out of questions, but maybe you have some things to say. Maybe you wanna give us a little overview of Q1, what you have been like some plans, anything until I
Yeah, I
remember.
guess what I want to share with people, because we're on this path of not giving out exact timelines or when we drop the next features specifically, you know what I mean, in terms of months. We're not going to say what's coming in 1 or 2. I just want to add to what we're building with Koala and kind of how we see these buzzwords we keep mentioning of extracting more value from blockchain and giving it back to the user. But I think what we hit upon earlier was really good about the exchange fees. Moving away from an exchange fee model, and this isn't something you expect maybe this
Mm-hmm.
this upcoming quarter year, but you're going to see a lot of more implementations into Koala that make it much more easy to access things you normally would on your desktop or your monitor at home, right into the palm of your hand. That includes from swapping and aggregating different swapping methods together. That includes, removing a lot of this confusion around different chain IDs and consolidating into one place for users. And it
Mm-hmm.
also includes the third page of Koala Wallet entirely. You have your portfolio page, your trading page, and then you have your third page of Eco. This is where you might find your settings and
Yeah.
your account information. But then people have noticed there's a big empty space below that. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason why is that you're going to see a lot of buttons soon implemented there where you can do a bunch of different things and connect through both browser and wallet connect to different applications, to different games, to different services, using wallet connect and some other methods to again allow the wallet interface on your phone to be much more expensive than just a wallet. We think the word wallet is going to change in its meaning, and already has, from wallet where you keep your money to kind of the playground where you use it and get back value. So that's what you can look forward to in terms of Koala's development, and also stay engaged with our socials. We're going to be doing a lot of different engagement over Discord, over our Twitter channel. So we always appreciate when people join the Discord and ask questions or even just talk with friends there, because that's how I got started in Dogecoin way back when, and maybe this might be your story too. Um, and yeah, we're always going to be focused on how do we make exclusive features and feelings for our community that we establish and develop. So come join us, come give us a follow, and definitely try and leave a 5-star review in the app stores if you'd be so kind, to let our developers know they're doing a good job. But yeah, come and join the fold, because anyone who joins Koala's community right now is going to have an important and heard voice going forward as to how we shape not only Koala Wallet but the community and services around it. So come join the Koala family and help us find a better name for the Koala family. And we'll see you in those chats.
And if anyone wants to show Koala Wallet at the best, when merch? I mean, I know people ask that, but I'm just gonna ask again.
Sorry, what was the question?
When's merch gonna drop? Like the hoodie you've
Oh
got
yeah,
on there.
merch.
I mean,
Yeah, so we've got some cool merch. I'll tell you the truth though. Just the same as we don't just want to implement NFTs and just like throw them up. We also
Yep.
don't just want to throw up a store where people can get, even though it's a pretty cool hoodie. I think we can eke out a lot more value to a black sweater than
Mm-hmm.
just our logo. That's what we think about again, because the first thing we thought about was, hey, this is for staff, for our employees, our
Mm-hmm.
koalas internally. But then we were like, okay, but is this the best we can deliver for our users?
Right.
And the truth is like, nah, they want some cool shit. So expect something in the upcoming month. That's something I will give a timeline on. We should have a
Okay.
functioning merchandise shop where people can buy a litany of different Koala limited time edition merch very soon. We're going to try to price it really nicely so that everyone can get some wherever they are in the world. And yeah, I think you might still be able to cop one of these cool Koala hoodies, but there's going to be much more that we're working on with our designers in terms of like, what would you actually want to wear? Like not just to have
Mm-hmm.
it and be like, I got it. Like, what do you really want to wear and share with your friends so that they go, what is that? And it's not just a koala. So expect that this month. And yeah, go check. I can't wait to tell people that I have merch. I mean, it's not mine, but like, go check out
Yeah,
my
man.
merch shop, guys.
Yeah,
Limited
yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
Definitely. And I think if anyone's got any requests or thinks something would look really dope, head into the Discord and leave them some feedback. Definitely.
Absolute.
Um, now I forgot again. Sorry, my mistake. Um,
No, that's all good. Listen, I try to give conclusive answers. I'm not usually too concise, but I try to give the answers. Yeah,
No man, that's good. It's just my concentration span that sometimes just disappears. So yeah.
that's so good.
It,
I think you've talked with Chris Allen, right? Our AMA guy. So Chris manages KadenaEcosystem.com
mhm.
and at
Right,
Kadena
yeah.
Project Network on Twitter, and he does like maybe 3 to 4 AMAs a week. And no, he would definitely relate to this. That sometimes you have a question coming, and it's just like it's in and it's out. And I did the same on one of my AMAs yesterday. I was just like question, and then I said repeat that. Um, but yeah, that's something else I guess to hit upon that Chris has been another shout out, leading the charge on educating Kadena community on what people are developing, staying in touch and on top of those developers to get answers as to how they are in their roadmap. And while I don't think he's too much of a badgering journalist, I think he's just done a really good job of asking questions and following up on them in the future
Hmm.
of AMAs or discussions, and really getting value and value out of conversations as you have for people listening in. So yeah, I think if you're running out of questions, honestly, I think that means you probably asked the big ones and you probably asked them super well. So I wouldn't take that as
Hope
I think that's
so.
great. I think the community will decide and agree.
Definitely. And I think once more stuff rolls out, or we're definitely gonna have more talks. At least I'd love it. I'm sure I'll have more questions.
Awesome. Well, Noah, thank you so much for talking today. I look forward to making this happen again, as soon as we can and dropping some more alpha. And thanks to anyone listening in. Give us a follow. You know where to find us at Koala Wallet on Twitter, koalawallet.io. Just search Koala Wallet. You're helping us make those searches go from like, the children's wallets that look like koalas to the Koala Wallet. So keep searching and clicking. And thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yep, all links are in the video description. Also, don't forget to leave a review, if possible, a 5-star review on the App Store and Play Store. And again, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you in the next video. So have a nice evening. See ya.
Take care.